Guys, and welcome to a brand new video. So the international break is over. It's now time of the return of the Premier League. So guys, today we are predicting Premier League Game Week 4. That is right, this is the series guys where I talk about each side, give you some details of each side and give you my prediction at the end of that conversation. In this Game Week guys, we talk about new managers, and then we also have a Manchester derby. Man City versus Man United. That is right guys, so that's today's video man. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already. Without further ado, let's predict Premier League Game Week 4. First up guys, we've got Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest. That is right guys, Arsenal lost 1-0 to Liverpool, and I've got to admit, Arsenal did not play that well. I will say now, I think it is now or never for Mikel Arteta. I mean, if Arteta guys does not compete for the title this season, I think it could be over for him next season, because obviously how many chances does Arteta need? 3 years now, he's been close to winning it, and obviously if he fails this year as well, it could be the end of his managing career at Arsenal. To me guys, Gyökeres is a good player, but to me he does need to adapt a little bit. Obviously coming from the Portuguese league, it is nowhere near as good as the Premier League, so he needs to like up his game a little bit, change his game around a little bit, because the Premier League is a massive difference to the Portuguese league, and it is showing guys, against bigger teams, it is showing up massively. They're up against Nottingham Forest, who sacked their manager Nuno Santo. I do not understand this decision by the chairman. The chairman's words were, I want to compete in the Europa League this season, and obviously I think last season Nuno and the chairman had a bit of a fallout, and yeah, obviously the chairman's words about winning the Europa League, obviously guys, they sacked Nuno Santo and they brought in Ange Postecoglou. I spoke about him guys many times on my series last year with Spurs, and with him, he plays some neat football, but a lot of teams do work him out eventually. And I don't know guys, I don't think Ange Postecoglou, a lot of Forest fans also aren't happy with it. Obviously, if you're a Forest fan watching this video, let me know down below in the comments, are you happy with Ange Postecoglou as manager? I don't know. To me, Nuno Santo getting sacked was a massive mistake, because obviously, you know, he's done super well for him in the last couple of years, and I don't know, we'll see what happens guys. But anyway, just on that alone, Forest lost 3-0 to West Ham last week, so with this new manager system, I think it'll take a bit of time. So just on that, I do have Arsenal guys to beat Nottingham Forest 2-0. Next up, we have two teams in form. It is Bournemouth versus Brighton. That is right, Bournemouth beat Spurs 1-0. Fantastic result. And I've got to say guys, considering the amount of players Bournemouth lost this season, like defenders, strikers, you know what, Bournemouth guys are competing. They're beating teams right now, okay, and fair play to Bournemouth man. They have lost, you know, Bournemouth guys have gained £150 million in the bank. They've signed players that are relevant to them, and they are battling guys, and they're beating Spurs 1-0, fantastic achievement. Also, they're up against Brighton, who beat Man City 2-1. So again guys, these two sides are competing for the top 10 this year, maybe Europa League. And for both of these teams to beat Spurs and Man City, we could expect a fantastic game. I believe guys, this game will be a draw, but quite an exciting draw, you know what I'm saying? Loads of shots on goal, loads of defending. So just on that guys, I've got this game to end as a 1-1 draw. Next, Crystal Palace versus Sunderland guys. So Palace with a fantastic 3-0 win against Aston Villa, and I've got to say, they looked absolutely brilliant. Mark Gay, he nearly had his move to Liverpool over the line, but Palace kind of blocked that deal out because they couldn't find a replacement. I think that's good business by Palace, but they could lose him on a free next season. I don't know Palace. Overall though, fantastic win, and I've got to say, their new signing, Yamelo Pina, fantastic player, fantastic replacement for Eze guys. Honestly, he is a very good player, and forget him for a replacement for Eze, I think that's a pretty good bargain. And yeah, Mateta as well, he's their star player this year. He's fantastic. You know what, guys? Palace could have a good season. Glasnow's finally got it worked out at Crystal Palace. They're up against Sunderland, who beat Brentford 2-1. Again, another fantastic performance from Sunderland, and they are surprising me this year. I thought they would struggle because all these players have signed. Obviously, guys, to sign all these players, it takes time to bed in. But Sunderland, guys, have bedded in already, and they are competing. So, you know what? I've got to say fair play to Sunderland. I thought they would struggle this year. It's still early days, but they've got 2 wins now. So, fantastic. Fantastic for them. But just on that, guys, I've got Palace to beat Sunderland because I think Palace, guys, just to be a little bit too strong for Sunderland. So, I've got Palace, guys, to beat Sunderland 2-1. Everton versus Aston Villa. That is right, guys. Everton are the team that I am most excited for this year. They've got such a good side. Obviously, Dewsbury Hall, guys, he is their key man, star man on the midfield. And then out wide and coming inside, you've got Jack Grealish, who is looking apart again. And personally, in my opinion, he should be in the World Cup squad next year if he continues playing the way he is. Everton, guys, have had a fantastic start to the season. And I've got to admit, they've got a fantastic, exciting future ahead of them as well. In their new Dickinson Stadium. It looks a huge stadium, by the way. It looks massive. And you know what? Everton have a good side this year. And they could compete for top 6, I reckon. David Moyes as well. Moyes is a fantastic manager. And man, Everton fans, if you're watching this video, Everton fans, you're going to have such a good season. Trust me. They're up against Aston Villa, who have found life hard at the start of the season in the Premier League. They have now lost 2 out of 3 games. And Villa don't look the side they were last season. I've got to say, they keep losing the ball in midfield. And to me, they just don't score enough goals right now. And Villa, man. Villa, guys, it's still early days. They'll come back strong. But start the season for Villa this year, it has been pretty poor. So Villa, man, needs to bounce back this week. But Everton, guys, the way they are right now, fantastic start. I've got Everton, guys, to beat Villa 2-1. Next, we've got Fulham versus Leeds. So Fulham lost to their London rivals Chelsea at the weekend, well, before the international break, 2-0. Fulham did a transfer deadline day to sign Kevin for, I think, what, £35 million, a winger. So Everton, guys, did buy someone decent, someone big as well. And you know what? He's a winger, and Fulham have lacked a few goals this year, and with him on the wing right now, he's quick as well. I've seen him play before. He looks a decent player, and for £35 million, you expect a decent player out of that as well. And Fulham, with Marco Silva at charge, Fulham have a great manager set up, great squad set up, and I think they'll do it right this year. They did lose 2-0 to Chelsea, but Chelsea, guys, are different gravy this year, trust me. They're against Leeds, who drew 0-0 with Newcastle. Fantastic point for Newcastle, fantastic point for Leeds right there. Leeds are a side that pick up points wherever they go. Like, they lose a game, then they pick up a few points, and then start losing again, and then pick up points. It's a continuous cycle. But you know what? They keep picking up points like they are against Newcastle and stuff like that. Leeds could be fine this year. But yeah, so just on that, guys, I do have this game to end as a 1-1 draw. So next we have Newcastle versus Wolves, guys. So Newcastle have put their end to their awful saga with Alexander Isak. You know what, guys? Isak could not stay at Newcastle this year. He just could not stay. And thank God they got rid of him for £130 million. And, in my opinion, that is a massive, hefty price tag. And fair play for Newcastle for getting rid of him, because the way he was treating you guys out of order. They did sign a replacement though. That is why they let him go. They signed Nick Voldemade from the German league. I don't know much about him, but he's 6'7", so he's an absolute tank. Yeah, I don't know much about him, but obviously the price that they signed him for, I think it was 80 million, 60 million, I think. And you know what? Good things about him. So we'll see what happens with that one, guys. But getting rid of Isak is their best thing they've done this season, because the way he was awful. Up against Wolves, who are the only team left in this league right now not to score a single point. That is right, guys. Wolves have lost 3 on the bounce right now, and Wolves, again, just like last season, they started off slow and they picked up towards the end and they survived this year. But I don't know if this will be the case this year, because Wolves don't look that good this year. Wolves have massive experience in the Premier League and they could, you know, bounce back. But to get 3 losses out of 3, not a great start. But the thing they did right though in this transfer window is they kept their star striker Strand Larsen. So to get him 5 in goals, then, you know, the Wolves could start picking up points. But as of right now, I can't see it. Just on that, guys, I've got Newcastle to beat Wolves, and I think Nick Waldemar will score his first goal this weekend. So I've got Newcastle to beat Wolves 2-0. West Ham versus Spurs. That is right, guys. West Ham ended the transfer deadline day without buying a striker, and that could bite them massively this year. Nick Fulgrug in the Premier League is finding it tough in the Premier League, and for them not to sign a striker, that could be massive for them this year. I don't know what they were thinking, in my opinion. But they did beat Forest though, guys, 3-0. So maybe my points are invalid. But we'll see what happens. In my opinion, stick Jared Bowen up front and let him do his business, okay? They got Callum Wilson, obviously, but very injury prone. But overall, fantastic win. I thought Potter might get sacked this week, but because of that win against Forest, he has kept his job for another couple of weeks or so. They'll be against Spurs, who again are just like typical Spurs. They lost 1-0 to Brighton, guys, and damn, Spurs, guys, are just Spurs, aren't they? Thomas Frank got playing some good stuff. They have signed a fantastic player in Xavi Simons. That is right, guys. He's an attacking midfielder and a massive replacement for Son and even Maddison. Massive player for them. And if they can get him playing, you know, if they can involve him in games all the time, get him the ball and let him do his business, then Spurs could be on business. But yeah, we'll see what happens, guys. But Xavi Simons, fantastic player, and expect more from him. West Ham won, Spurs lost. So just on that alone, I've got this game, guys, to end as a very exciting 2-2 draw. Brentford versus Chelsea. Brentford lost 2-1 to Sunderland before the international break, and Keith Andrews got a massive job on his hand. I've got to say, Brentford are competing. Keith Andrews came from the set piece setup and straight into the management job, and you know what, guys, give him time, because the way Brentford are right now, I think Brentford, guys, will have a good season under the Keith Andrews. I think he's done alright for them this year. I think he's done okay. You know, they're battling, they're winning games, they're scoring goals, and you know, that's all you can ask for. But they're up against Chelsea, who in my opinion could win the league this year. The way Chelsea are right now, they beat Fulham 2-0. João Pedro again. Yeah, guys, Chelsea's team just says it all, really, man. Chelsea have such a fantastic side. And obviously, guys, Enzo has done well. You know, Enzo, I didn't rate him at first, obviously from Leicester. But he's coming to the Chelsea side. Got him playing his style of play. And Chelsea, guys, could win the league this year. And I got Chelsea to beat Brentford 3-0. Next, got Burnley versus Liverpool, guys. So Burnley gave Man United a fantastic game, but in the end they did lose 3-2. But overall, fantastic game for Burnley right there. They competed. They nearly got that point, but just at obviously last minute of the game. Burnley, guys, you know, Scott Parker, the team he has is making it work really well, and that is all you can ask for. As we all know that, guys. We all know Burnley do not have the strongest side in the Prem. But the way Scott Parker's got him playing and the way he has handled the situation with these players, fantastic. And, you know, Burnley, guys, aren't just like the old Burnley in the Premier League. Obviously, under Sean Dyche, they booted the ball up, trying to get the ball in the box as quick as possible. With Burnley, they are trying to play football. And, yeah, fair play to Burnley right there. They're up against Liverpool, who beat Arsenal 1-0. And in my opinion, Liverpool were great. Liverpool were at their best. Salah was very quiet. Midfielders to their defenders, is a massive gap between that line, and a lot of teams are exploiting that. And yeah, I don't know, Liverpool, guys. Obviously, yeah, they are competing for the title, obviously, but the way they are in defending wise, I don't think they're good enough defending this year. We'll see what happens, but I do have this game though, guys, to end as a 2-0 win for. We are now down to the game we have all been waiting for. It's Man City versus Man United. That is right, guys. Man City, damn, they lost 2-1 to Brighton. I've got to admit, guys, Man City have lost 2 in their last 3 Premier League games right now, and I will say, I think a lot of teams now are working them out. Man City aren't the side they used to be. Obviously, in my opinion, losing De Bruyne is going to be the massive key part. I know De Bruyne is old now, guys, but he's still bossing it now for Napoli and also Belgium, and I think they'll miss his sort of playmaking. With Man City, guys, they've got such an imbalance of certain players, and Haaland, fantastic player, but for me, you know, he doesn't get in games as much as he should do. Like, he should be picking the ball up, trying to dictate the play, but he just don't, you know, he's a great finisher, great goal scorer, but for me, his overall game is not great. Yeah, I think a lot of teams are working Man City out, guys, and I think it's a matter of time until Pep realises that and to try and change up a little bit. They're up against Man United, who in my opinion got lucky against Burnley to beat them 3-2. Again, guys, for me, Man United don't look like Man United. I've got to admit, they are. You know, they've signed a striker, guys, in Sesko, right, and they aren't even playing him, not even starting him. Which, in my opinion, if you've got someone like Sesko, you know, who is proven goal scorer in the Bundesliga and even for his country as well. Yeah, to me, why aren't they playing him? They're playing Mason Mount up front as well sometimes. And just, to me, I don't know what's happening in Ruben Amorim's mind. But for me, guys, Ruben Amorim is do or die for him this year. If he don't do well this year, then he could be sacked next season. For Man United, you know, they do not have the players they used to have. They've signed some players now in Cunha, Mwumbu, you got Bruno Fernandes, Sesko for me, Harry Maguire. God, that is 5 players that I can think of that are, you know, world class. They sold their keeper Onana on loan and signed a new goalkeeper. I don't know much about it, I've got to admit, and I think that is their problem, guys. They are lacking a world-class goalkeeper. In my opinion, they should have kept David De Gea. In my opinion, they should have kept De Gea. But overall, this game will be an exciting game. But just on that, I do have this game, guys, to end as a 2-2 draw. There we go then, guys. That's my Premier League Game Week 4 predictions. If you agree with any of my decisions, let me know down below in the comments. Let's get a chat going in the comments. And man, we are back. The Premier League is back after international break. No one likes the international break apart from the World Cup and the Euros. But we are back. The Premier League is back, guys. So stay tuned. More videos coming soon for that, guys. But anyway, thank you for watching. Good, and good night, yeah?